You know that moment. You've just wrapped up a full day of meetings, managed your team brilliantly, and handled family responsibilities. And then the second you finally get a moment to think about yourself, bam, all you can think about is food. Not just any food, the exact foods that you know that you're not supposed to have after bariatric surgery. Sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, I want you to know something important. This is not a willpower issue. It's not a character flaw, and it's definitely not you failing at your bariatric journey. What's happening has a scientific explanation, and it affects high achievers like you in a very specific way after weight loss surgery. If you're new here, I'm Jessica Lawson, a bariatric coach and a high-performance nutrition strategist. And since my own gastric sleeve surgery, I've lost over 140 pounds and transformed my relationship with food and stress. And I'm a high achiever. I discovered that the combination of a demanding lifestyle and physical changes from bariatric surgery creates unique challenges that most traditional advice completely misses. And that's why I created my coaching program, the Bariatric Success Academy, to help women like you who excel in their careers but find themselves struggling with food despite knowing better. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why your brain and your body conspire against you after stress and give you 3 specific strategies that my most successful clients use to break this pattern for good. Now, let's talk about what's really happening in your body when stress hits. Because when you experience stress, whether it's from back-to-back meetings or a demanding deadline, your body releases cortisol. This worked perfectly for our ancestors when they needed to run from predators. But here's where it gets interesting for bariatric patients. Cortisol does 2 critical things after weight loss surgery. First, it increases ghrelin, your hunger hormone, making you feel ravenous, not just hungry. And second, it specifically triggers cravings for carby and fatty foods. Your body is trying to replenish energy it thinks you used handling that difficult client or family situation. Now, before surgery, your stomach could stretch to accommodate stress eating. But after bariatric surgery, your anatomy has changed. Your smaller stomach fills quickly, but those powerful hormonal signals are still firing at full strength. And this creates a unique problem for high achievers. Your stress levels are often higher due to your demanding lifestyle. Your body responds with stronger cravings for foods that can cause dumping syndrome. And the restricted eating patterns after surgery make your body more sensitive to stress signals. This is not about willpower, it's about biology, and understanding this biology is the first step to creating effective strategies. So let's explore the 3 specific areas that I see most often in high achieving bariatric patients. Trigger number 1, the perfectionist trap. As high achievers, we often set impossibly high standards. Before surgery, you probably researched everything and committed to doing it perfectly. The problem is that perfection isn't sustainable after bariatric surgery. Your body is healing and your life doesn't pause for recovery. And when you inevitably have a bad day that didn't go according to plan, maybe that means you didn't hit your protein goal or that triggers an all or nothing response. Well, I've already messed up today, so what's the point? That's what you say to yourself. That black and white thinking creates a stress spike that triggers cravings. Trigger number 2 is time compression. High achievers juggle multiple important responsibilities, and you're not just focused on recovery, you're also managing your career, family, and more. And this creates time compression, the feeling that there are never enough hours in the day. So when you're constantly racing from one thing to the next, your cortisol remains elevated. By the time you finally get a moment to breathe, those stress hormones are looking for release through food. This is why many clients tell me they do great all day but struggle in the evenings. Trigger number 3 is identity conflict. After bariatric surgery, you're navigating a new identity. You're physically changing and your relationship with food is changing. Yet, as a high achiever, your identity is tied to being in control. And this creates an internal conflict that manifests as chronic stress. And on one hand, you're proud of taking this step for your health, but on the other, you might feel like you failed because you needed surgery to address your weight. And if you recognize these triggers, you're not alone. Every successful client has faced these same challenges, and the difference is that they've learned specific strategies to manage them. Now let's get to the solutions. These are 3 science-backed strategies specifically designed for high achievers after bariatric surgery. So strategy number 1, the 97 reset technique. When stress rises and food cravings start, you need something immediate. Here's the 90-second reset. Step 1, take 1 deep breath. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. This immediately lowers your cortisol. Step 2, place your hand on your stomach and ask yourself, am I physically hungry or responding to stress? This awareness breaks the automatic pattern. Step 3, if it's stress, drink 8 ounces of water with a pinch of salt. This stabilizes blood sugar and signals your brain that you're addressing a physical need. One of my clients, Sarah, used this between meetings and says that it reduced her stress eating by 80%. Strategy number 2, strategic meal timing. After surgery, the standard advice is to eat every 3 to 4 hours, but as a high achiever, your schedule rarely allows for that perfect timing. So here's a more realistic approach. First, identify your highest stress periods of the day, often mid-afternoon or early evening, and then schedule protein-rich mini meals around 30 minutes before these high-stress periods to stabilize your blood sugar and reduce cravings. For example, if you have back-to-back meetings from 2 to 5 p.m., have a high-protein snack at 1:30, even if you're not hungry yet. One of my clients, Michelle, keeps protein mini meals in her office fridge specifically for this purpose and calls it a game changer for avoiding stress eating. Strategy number 3, the identity bridge technique. This addresses the deeper identity conflict that we discussed. Step 1 is to identify 3 qualities that make you successful in your career. Maybe it's your attention to detail or your strategic thinking. And step 2, create concrete examples of how these same qualities can make you successful in your bariatric journey. If strategic thinking makes you successful at work, how can you apply that to planning meals or navigating social situations? Step 3, each morning, spend 60 seconds visualizing yourself using these strengths in both areas, creating an identity bridge. This reduces the internal conflict that creates chronic stress, making you less susceptible to stress eating. And these 3 strategies work together as a system. The 90-second reset gives you immediate relief. Strategic meal timing prevents stress-driven hunger. The identity bridge addresses the root cause of chronic stress. But the key is consistency, not perfection. Even implementing these 7% of the time can create drastic changes. So if these strategies resonate with you, then you know that implementation, especially with your busy schedule, requires structured accountability. And that's why I created the Bariatric Success Academy, specifically designed for high-achieving women who've had bariatric surgery and want to stop stress eating and weight regain. And in this program, we address stress-resilient eating habits for busy schedule, strategies for high-pressure situations, and a complete system for rebuilding your relationship with food. But this isn't for everyone. I work with women who are committed to transformation and ready to invest in themselves the way they invest in their careers. So if that's you, book a bariatric success strategy session with me, and we're going to identify your specific triggers, develop a customized blueprint, and determine if the academy is the right fit for you. These sessions are complimentary, but limited each week. So click the link below to book your session. And if you found value in today's strategies, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content specifically designed for high-achieving women on their bariatric journey. You've already taken the courageous step of having surgery. Now, let's make sure that the decision pays off for life. And you don't have to choose between success and health. You can have both.